Welcome to Cal State Fullerton's The Report with the latest news, views, and info to go. I'm Christina Rasband.
I'm Sarah Fenton.
And I'm Jen Moynihan.
Today we will start by discussing some hot topics, including a countdown to finals week, a federal appeals court ruling creating privacy concerns, and more.
Beyond our discussion, we have reports on current CSUF events, on Earth Day festivities, the future of ethics in Orange County, and a local charity raising awareness on campus.
And finally, we conclude with some local and national news on a contaminated aquifer in Orange County, updates on the Nepal earthquake, and more.
But first, we'll begin with our segment called Hot Topics, where we'll discuss the top trending topics of the week. The dreaded time of the semester is upon us. Finals week is 14 days away. For the typical college student, that means busting out all-nighters and consuming massive amounts of coffee. To help alleviate some of the stress, the TSU is hosting its Orange is the New Night 24-hour study event. Students will have extended access to study areas, the computer lounge, and various activities and giveaways beginning this week until May 15th. Are you guys ready for finals? And what are your study methods?
I mean, I don't have that many finals this semester since I'm not taking as many classes as usual, but usually the two most amazing things I use to study are the study guides that the professors give out, just because if they're going to make a study guide, you might as well use it, look at it, and most of the time, a lot of the answers are verbatim on there, basically what's on the test. Yeah, and then also two lecture notes, just because I find a lot of the times in classes, 70% of what's on the test is usually lecture, and then about less than 30 is from books. What about you guys?
I mean, I have 2 actual finals that are tests this semester, and then 4 essays, which I have to write. So,
that's a lot.
It is a lot. I'm really stressing out, but hopefully I can push through these next 2 weeks. But with studying, I feel like showing up to class and actually taking notes and paying attention to what's going on in class really helps me throughout the whole semester. So then by the time finals come around, I take that study guide that the professor gives us, go over my notes, and then take the test. But with the essays, you have to do it. Yeah.
For me, I typically like to write out my notes, maybe even a couple times, so that I just get it in my body almost, so I know them really well. Also, there's a lot of different apps that we can download, like study little, what are they called, note cards, right? Yeah. But you can have it on your phone, and then it'll turn into games that you can play. So I like that kind of method because I can take my phone with me everywhere.
Yeah, a fun, interactive way to...
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is so cool.
The tech version.
Tech version. Yes.
Those who believe in superstitions have the reputation of doing odd things. A New York Times article published in 2013 revealed research that found people, superstitious or not, believe negative outcomes are more likely after they jinx themselves. But even those who claim to not be superstitious find themselves throwing the salt over their shoulder or knocking on wood from time to time. Are you superstitious? Do you partake in any rituals like knocking on wood?
I don't like to walk under ladders. I know safety, obviously, but I don't like to walk under ladders. It freaks me out. I do throw salt over my shoulder.
Really?
Yeah.
I've done that too.
I think it's just
really?
Yeah. Just for
I kicks at a restaurant or something.
Kicks and giggles, yeah. And I don't like black cats.
Don't come over to my house. Oh,
Sarah.
Why? Do you have a black cat?
I have a black cat at home. And we named her Karma. She's the cutest thing. We found her. And so we brought her home and we named her Karma just because we thought it was good luck that she actually came up to us and we could take her home.
And it's kind of ironic because she's a black cat.
Yeah, exactly. And so that
really.
But she's the nicest thing. We haven't, knock on wood, had any bad luck so far.
We don't have any wood.
Yeah, glass table.
But like I just said, I do say the knock on wood, even though I find myself finding that there's not wood around. It's like that fake plastic stuff, which is kind of funny. But I've broken 3 mirrors in the past 2 years.
Okay, stay away.
Things really haven't yet. I don't know. I guess I'm not really that superstitious.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we grow up with hearing this kind of stuff, like, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I really don't know why I don't do those things, because nothing bad ever really comes of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, what have you experienced?
I've done the knock on wood thing. Like I've literally run up to, not like I'm outside and I'll be like, oh, there's a tree, knock on wood. Like, but it's like a figure of speech or an expression that you use. I don't actually believe knocking on wood's gonna prevent something bad from happening. But I don't know. Some people are superstitious and they do these things and they're like dead serious about it. So I guess each person kind of just has their own way of going about life.
Just be careful.
Yeah. Police will no longer need warrants to obtain stored cell phone location data, according to a new ruling made by a federal appeals court Tuesday. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta ruled in response to a 2012 case that convicted a man of multiple robberies in Miami using cell phone tower records obtained without a warrant. The court cited the third-party doctrine, which some legal experts say could be interpreted to include Facebook posts, internet search history, and information stored in the cloud. Do you think the government should have access to third-party cell phone data without a warrant?
I think that they should. I mean, on iPhones especially, we have that app or that option to where you can share your location. You just turn it on, and your friends in your phone have your location. And they don't even need to go through the government to get a warrant or anything like that. So it's already out there. And we have our location everywhere. I don't think it's necessary to get a warrant. If they're going through the court, just go through the court. If it helps them put someone in jail that needs to be in jail, let it happen.
I think you make a good point when you say that everything is put out there.
Yeah.
I think if we looked back 10 years ago, we were kind of uncomfortable even putting our full name out online or out into the cyber world, right? And now we're so open with sharing our likes, our dislikes, our name, our birthday, all this information where we've become desensitized to exposing our private matters. So I think by letting your information go out there willingly, you are allowing the government or anybody else have access to what you are putting out there. Now, I know you said this is phone call related, right?
Yeah, it's cellular location data. So in this instance, it was phone call related, but there are people out there that are saying that this third party thing could be openly interpreted to mean, you know, any other data that you share with a third party, like when you store things on the cloud, that's through Apple, or your location, that's through your carrier, or even information when you search online, you're using, you know, service to be able to search online. So I feel like privacy is such a big issue in this country, and people are so protective of it because others are becoming so, like you were saying, desensitized to it.
Right.
And you know, there is precedent to be able to do this. The 5th and the 6th Circuit Court, along with the 11th one, were saying that it's okay to use this information without getting a warrant. But I still feel like until it's taken up with the Supreme Court, they should use a warrant to retrieve this data because it is a privacy issue in the United States. And I feel like they should respect these citizens' privacy.
But if you're putting that stuff out there, how is that private anymore?
Exactly. Like I was watching an episode of Catfish, and they were trying to find out where the catfish was living, and they got one of the addresses from online.
Is it peoplesmart.com?
I don't know what
I
it
am
was,
obsessed with that show. Okay,
but
sorry.
They did show up to this location, which it wasn't the person's address. It was like a mall.
Okay.
So then one of the guys on the show said, why don't you go on their Instagram and see if they geotagged anything? And believe it or not, that person geotagged one of their locations, and like 5 pictures popped up, and it was that person's house. So that's how they pulled up their address.
Yeah.
And so they thought, all right, now we're going there, and they showed up to the person's house. And so, I mean, that was on there. That person, you can put it on Instagram, you can put it on Facebook. Your location is anywhere. Like, and then you can go back in history and see, okay, that's their house, that's their school. It's now saved.
Yeah, I think that's just something that comes with our advances in technology, is you have to think about, do I want to have a phone that allows me to have my location out there for everyone? Yeah. Or do I want to share that with everyone? Because if you don't, then you need to think a little bit deeper and not have those options on your phone and available to the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like in this instance, they should have gotten the warrant to get it. Just because for the average citizen, yes, it is out there, but sometimes it's involuntarily shared. Like some people don't know when their location services are turned on their phone, or when you make a phone call, that's automatically stored on your carrier. You don't have any way to reverse that. So I guess it just depends on.
But also, let's say like you got convicted of a crime, right? You were stealing candy from the candy shop, and it was all out there that you were stealing the candy from the candy shop, but then like turns out based on your phone call, you were nowhere near the candy shop when that happened. That could actually save you.
Yeah.
That was almost like an alibi.
They could still get that. They just have to get the warrant first, which takes
Okay,
more
okay,
time.
fine.
Yeah.
All right, I guess
we're at a moot point here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
see both sides of the spectrum. Yeah.
agree to disagree.
Yes.
Okay.
And now let's switch over to the campus events of the week. Nearly 12,000 participants helped earn more than $350,000 at the 13th annual Donate Life Run Walk Family Festival last Saturday here at Cal State Fullerton. The event, run by the Los Angeles-based One Legacy Foundation, is intended to help raise awareness and money for organ and tissue donations. The One Legacy Foundation is the largest organ, eye, and tissue recovery organization in the county.
Earth Day was celebrated on Wednesday, April 22nd. Although this day is often overlooked, Cal State Fullerton hosted informative events for students to feel more connected to campus and nature. ASI and the Women's Center organized a series of events for students to attend. Reporter Morgan Klein has a story.
There's no beating around the bush, but Earth Day is more than just appreciating the dirt and the trees. As you can see, I'm standing right outside of Garden Cafe, located at Cal State University Fullerton. Betsy Hall discusses how she acknowledges nature around us and within us. Let's take a look.
Today I was talking about a specific art project that really is very closely related with meditation practice.
Betsy Hall, visual artist, specializes in art history. She encourages students to meditate twice a day, 20 to 30 minutes each session. This allows students to get away from their cell phones and computers so they can appreciate and acknowledge nature.
I also do incorporate artists who use natural elements, like Andy Goldsworthy uses leaves and stones and icicles, all kinds of natural things in his work. I was just talking about his work the other day. I do know that here on campus in the Student Health Center on Mondays, they have Mindful Mondays from 11:30 to noon. It's a meditation.
She introduces her students to authors such as James Turrell, who incorporates nature and artwork within their work.
Today I'm hosting the Earth Voices, which is open mic, and it's offered to the entire campus community. And I just thought it would be a great collaboration because it's Earth Day, and it's also Para Mujeres is for women. So I just think that's very relative to each other.
Students, faculty, staff, and community members gather here to enjoy story, poems, and performances in celebration of Earth Week. I'm Morgan Klein reporting from Titan TV.
Is Orange County in need of independent ethics commission? Board of Supervisors Chairman Todd Spitzer hosted a discussion at Cal State Fullerton this month to address citizen concerns and help establish the future of ethics in the county.
County officials and citizen activists convened at the campus of Cal State Fullerton to discuss the future of ethics in Orange County. Board of Supervisors Chairman Todd Spitzer hosted the public discussion in response to local residents' frustration over enforcement of county campaign finance limits.
We need enforcement of the campaign ordinance, and we need enforcement of other political influence and indifference that goes on in this county. I'm tired of relying on county employees investigating other county employees.
This has been the center of an ongoing debate in Orange County, dating back to a 2012 grand jury report that cites multiple counts of corruption and ethical violations by elected and appointed officials. Voters displayed willingness for ethical oversight last November when they passed a measure allowing the California Fair Political Practices Commission to enforce county campaign regulations.
However, the measure permits the FPPC to regulate Orange County policy from over 400 miles away in Sacramento, but only gives it the authority to prosecute civil, not criminal charges.
Representatives from the County Council, District Attorney's Office, FPPC, and LA Ethics Commission presented alternative solutions at the meeting, but an official solution has yet to be determined.
I hope today people get a better sense of what the structure should be, because we're in the process within Orange County of trying to figure out exactly where we want to go. And we know where we want to go. We want to have an ethical government. We want people to have confidence in it. How do we actually get there? And I think that's what the public discussion is mostly about.
Reporting for Titan TV, I'm Jen Moynihan.
And now we'll switch over to some updates in local news. The Environmental Protection Agency may soon team up with the cities of Fullerton and Anaheim to clean up contaminated underground water in the area. Officials from the Orange County Water District are seeking guidance from the EPA due to worries that the contamination could threaten the county's largest source of drinking water. The contaminated aquifer runs hundreds of feet below ground from State College Boulevard to Brookhurst Street and Commonwealth to La Palma Avenue. In 2012, the Water District reported that cleanup could cost $150 million.
And now we'll take a look at some of the latest news here in the U.S. and abroad. Nepal was hit by a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake just weeks ago, one of the worst in 80 years' history. BBC reports at least 3,617 people have died. According to the National Emergency Operations Center, more than 6,500 individuals have been injured. Officials say the number of casualties could rise as rescue teams reach the western Nepal mountain area. Visit redcross.org or unicefusa.org to make a donation to help the victims of Nepal.
Well, that's all we have on this edition of The Report. Join us next time for more up-to-date news, views, and info to go. Thank you. I'm Christina Rasban.
I'm Sarah Fenton.
And I'm Jen Moynihan. Stay fresh, Fullerton.